Well, good morning. This is Tampa Home Talk, and actually, I'm surprised that Pat's not playing like the Superman noises this morning.
I'm surprised you don't sound more out of breath.
We literally, Adam's stuck behind a train. I
was peacefully waiting at the door, actually behind 3 locked doors, which I didn't have keys for.
I knew exactly where you were, Leo. I knew exactly you were standing out there just waiting for Katrina.
I would have let you in, but you need the other card.
I need the other keys and cards. I mean, there were so many keys and cards to get in here. I felt like I was playing one of those 1980s video games.
I actually turned the alarm off on my phone and everything, like I was proactive. Anyway, so let's talk about our market stats.
Yeah, market stats.
These are literally hot off the press. Like the paper's probably still warm.
I need to cuddle with this paper. It's so warm.
So the crazy part about this is this market is moving so fast that this is our little snapshot, right? But literally, I have a listing that just hit the market, and I can't say specifics because technically it's active, but it's really pending, which doesn't reflect in those numbers. And I will tell you, it is well over $500,000, and
I thought you were going to say they gave you well over ask.
Well, that's happening too, but not as much on the upper price points, which I actually would love to pull that data from Florida Realtors, even though we know it's a little lower, just so we can show where the bulk of the market activity is in terms of price.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd actually like to do that because, we sit here every week and we say, new listings about 1,000, pending's about 1,800. Sold's about 1,000, but more than new.
Are you saying you're bored with the numbers?
Well, no, I'd like to make it more interesting for our listeners. Let's talk about hot zip codes, or let's talk about price points and what we're seeing, because this data has been awesome and has been steady for the past 8 weeks. So we really got to talk about other things to make it interesting, at least for me.
It's still off the chain and in the most basic ways. We literally just look at the numbers. So the number of new listings is 906, right? We pull this data, single family homes, 3 counties, so Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and within the last 7 days. What's a market snapshot Friday morning right before we go on the air, just so we can get an idea of some of the real-time data. And the number of new listings is 906, while the number of solds is still 1,024.
And I still don't understand. Based on the data I've seen for the past 8 months, we should be out of listings. They're just not hitting the market fast. They're getting gobbled up faster than they're hitting the market.
We should be, and when you look at the...
And you even talked about it today, that you have one that's hitting the market today, but it's already pending.
No, it hit the market yesterday. It wasn't even on for 24 hours.
And it's already pending.
Yeah, it was in the higher price points and
gobbled up.
Literally, here's the bizarre part. Yesterday, my day was so busy. I'm running everywhere, right? And I had interviews scheduled because we're hiring new agents and all this stuff. And basically, so I don't manage the showings, but I want to make sure my sellers never miss a showing opportunity. So basically, that's done all the time. It's the email, or the owner is texted, called, emailed, however they need to be communicated with in order to get a showing scheduled. And my owners were home all day yesterday. I knew they were leaving soon, but it was actually today. And they said, oh no, we were home all day except for a 30-minute window. And we never got any showing requests and no one was here. So they actually submitted a blind offer. And this is in the upper end of the price range. When I talked to my seller about it, they're like, okay, look, we're going to counter a couple little things. We will take it right away, even though we have 4 showings lined up for tomorrow. As long as, once they see it, they're like, yeah, we still love it.
Nice.
But, can you imagine? I can't imagine making an offer on a home, $750,000, blind offer.
I could.
Yeah, you do that, though.
That's a strategy. It's a way to save time.
For the average buyer, though,
I look at it like this. If I'm going to look at 10 homes, and in the time it takes me to look at 10 homes, 8 of them are off the market because of offers, and the other 2 are competitively bid, I want to blind offer as many things as possible.
Yeah. And again, that's an investor strategy, right? So I get that. I totally get that.
The home is where my PlayStation is, so where my PlayStation is could be anywhere.
And that the PlayStation is the thing, right? That's still...
That's my thing.
I think, I remember, of course the PlayStation wasn't around, but when my husband and I were younger, we used to play video games, and he is super competitive, by the way. He is so competitive. Any game I play against him, he wins all of them except for Monopoly and Scrabble. He can't beat me at either one of those games.
I don't really know people who enjoy playing Scrabble. Not Monopoly. Monopoly is one of those games where
Takes too long.
It takes too long, and once it's on a downward trend, it's just
Nobody wants to play. They're throwing money.
They're just throwing money. The only way that those games get interesting if you have like 4 people and 2 have given up, so they give everything to the person in second place.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. And trust me, my husband will do that just to see me not win because he's so competitive.
I just don't like those games. That's why I like games like Settlers of Catan, where even near the very end, like 3 or 4 people are vying for a win. It gets competitive in that way because you're never really out. Or a game like Exploding Kittens, which is just all about the luck of the draw.
Exploding Kittens, that's the name of the game.
Never heard of Exploding Kittens?
No, I don't play video games. I mean,
no. This is a card game.
Oh, yeah, no, I've never heard of that.
So with Exploding Kittens, it's like a deck building game. And then let's see, Adam, you've heard of Exploding Kittens before, right?
He'll tell you as soon as he's all mic'd up.
Yeah.
You gotta give him a minute.
So it's like a deck building game. You get a bunch of cards, and then you try. Every round begins, and you pull a top card, and you hope it's not an exploding kitten. Because if you have an exploding kitten and you don't have a bomb diffuser card, you die.
Sounds like I came in just in time.
I have never heard
it's
that.
based on the fact that cats are curious, and they end up hurting themselves and those around them. Like one way the kitten will explode is it'll bite the electrical cords. Another way it'll actually.
How does this relate to cards? Like I'm trying.
It's a card game. You pull cards and you're trying not to pull the exploding kitten.
So how do you know what's what? Or that's
You
how
don't.
printed?
It's blind pull, and you have cards that have different strategies, like skip your pull from the deck, or look at the cards in the deck, or reverse the order of pulling cards.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, back to the video game topic.
And there's another kitten that basically blows up a house by playing with the gas valve.
Never heard of that one. So what I was going to say though was when we were younger, we would play. I can't remember the game console, but like Tetris was the thing, right?
Nintendo.
And okay, so yeah, it was Nintendo. Thank you, Leo.
The original Nintendo.
Yeah.
The original Nintendo.
So I don't know if it was the original, but yeah, one of the early ones. But they had this Tetris game where you could play like competitive with another person, and what would happen is when your stack would clear, you would push it to the other person's side.
Yeah, that's Tetris.
Was it
Yeah.
Was it Nintendo or was it an Atari?
No, it
The
wasn't
first.
Atari.
I think the first Tetris, which was 1984 or 85, was 86 was Nintendo.
Interesting. We had the Super Nintendo.
That also had a Tetris.
That was fun.
Yeah, but basically, if you're watching the World Tetris competitions, which happen every year on ESPN Ocho, which is a real network, they are playing it on the real original Nintendo.
I know I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm still really shocked that like this is literally a career for some people, the whole video gaming thing.
Well, competitive
It's serious.
I know.
Competitive video gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
That's the crazy
The
part. That's
esports.
what
There's
I mean.
colleges that have esports teams now.
Yeah.
Think about that.
It's a college course too.
No, sports.
It's like a sports team at
Like
colleges.
you can take a course in Street Fighter V. Yes, you can take courses in playing specific video games.
Well, when I was a freshman at Florida State, you have to take an elective English, and I took superheroes as my
nice.
elective English. So we read Watchmen and then did some other stuff like that. I mean, there's some good stuff in it, but it was just
I went
fun.
a course like that. I had humanities. I ended up doing Shakespeare.
Wow, proud of you.
Of course you did,
Lots
Leo.
and lots of Shakespeare. If I had the option of doing comic book superheroes, I would have been all over that.
It was fun. You would have liked it. Right up your alley.
I feel like I got a minor in that from all my comic book knowledge.
If the course book was The Watchmen, so you would have.
I love that comic. I love the movie. I love the HBO series. Everything about the Watchmen.
Smart show.
Even the comic offshoot they did with DC, where they did the Doomsday Clock. It was an actual limited comic series. That was even awesome.
Interesting. Well, our office is right next to a comic book store, so I might have to pop in and see what he has.
Yeah.
But
we were talking about the data and the numbers, and this is part of the reason.
reeling it back in.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just thinking, this is the reason why we pull our own. And I'm looking, and literally around this time, this says November 12th. I was looking at third quarter because fourth quarter wasn't available.
Right around 8:14 and 30 seconds.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh wow.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna see. I wish that the last quarter of last year was available. Now that it's February 12th.
Oh, what do you got planned for Valentine's Day right around the corner, listeners? Make sure you go to Publix, get your vaccine, and get your flowers at the same time.
So we'll talk about Valentine's Day for a minute when we come back. But
I don't like that.
my husband and I, we don't buy each other flowers or gifts or any of that. I guess we've been married too long.
I wish my wife would get to that point.
But for me, like literally, I would rather my husband buy me a Bucks jersey than like flower or jewelry or any of that.
We're experience over materials type people. You know, like rather go travel someplace.
That would be awesome too.
You know?
Okay, so we'll talk about Valentine's Day.
Of course, there is a shortage of Bucks jerseys now.
Is there? I ordered mine right away. It's like not here yet. I was
Make your own. You got to knit it.
I was still drinking when I ordered mine, so I don't really know how much I spent.
Take a fishing net and knit it. Oh, 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. Text knit. Well, good morning. Welcome back. Leo Kane here with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. We were talking about knitting your own Bucks jersey.
No, yeah, we're not going to be doing that.
I was impressed. The game.
We look good. I was impressed with Brady finally letting loose on that parade. I'm proud of him.
And let me tell you, like,
that was hilarious.
I was just, okay.
It's the most Tampa thing that he's done since he got
finally
here.
get to
Wait,
talk.
he got drunk and fell off a boat?
No.
But he almost experienced his first Gasparilla without it
By
being
the way,
Gasparilla.
I have to say something. I'm really liking being friends with your wife on Facebook.
Oh, is that a follow I should make?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who, like, yeah? Adam's wife?
No, your wife.
What now? What did she do now?
Oh, I'm not telling
I don't
you
do the
nothing.
space books.
Oh, I know. That's why it's so funny.
I'll find her.
There's totally a little sports tie in there, too. Like, it's, great. We won the Super Bowl, right? You know, we're like officially Tampa Bay now, right?
Yeah,
You heard
Tampa
all
Bay. I like
Okay.
that. I like that whole Tampa Bay
Okay.
thing. Yeah, I feel sorry for the Rays.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause-
we're still stellar. I mean,
The Rays.
Why? They made it to the
Still
World
made it to the
Series.
World
Yeah,
Series.
but the hockey team made it and won.
what would have been
The
the
Bucks
best
made
is
it
if
and
we
won.
Yeah.
The Rays made it and got swept.
They didn't get swept.
No.
It was
ma-
close all the way to the end. It was
Yeah.
not like it was like come on, the Super Bowl was a total rollover. I mean,
Yeah.
really, they didn't even get one touchdown. But
It was
and, you know,
impressive.
and some people were like, "Oh, I feel so bad for the Chiefs." Not me. I would have now if I paid for that Super Bowl experience and my team wasn't playing, I probably would have been mad. But the fact that my
Yeah.
team was playing,
I love the
and it
memes
was at
from the
home,
halftime show. Though that was pretty good too.
I didn't see a lot of the halftime.
You
memes,
didn't look up the
I was
halftime.
sleeping during that show.
The memes about the weekend during his one song where he's in like a funhouse exhibit are pretty funny. You
It
should
was
look them up.
unique to say the least.
So let's.
So let me ask you this about quick question.
Okay.
Quick-
Are we going to talk about sports still? Really?
No. Back to the weekend.
okay.
Yeah.
Back to the weekend. Did you know that his whole everyone wearing a mask and the way the masks were arranged was actually a statement about plastic surgery?
No, they look like jock straps.
They did look like jock
really.
That's what I was thinking.
thought they were wearing
But
cups.
I didn't even know his whole message was about plastic surgery until after when I looked it up. So I'm like, I guess he missed delivering the message.
Okay, so what's
Hasn't
the
he
point
had
of
a
that
lot
exactly?
of plastic surgery?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways.
So you're saying he's like con plastic surgery or he's pro?
I don't know what the message was.
The message was he was making a spoof on Hollywood with all the plastic surgery that's going on in L.A. and Hollywood in the movies.
Oh, because
So he's
now
a-
they wear a mask and you can't see their face. Like, is that what that's
So
about?
he's anti-plastic surgery.
Got it. Okay.
He's anti all of that stuff, for movie stars. You know what they do to themselves to look better in in Hollywood and the movies.
movies.
Not to get off
The
track, and
talkies.
I really
Not
am going to come
all
back.
right, 20 minutes into the show, not to get off track.
I know, right? No, but I don't watch TV, so I did see this one show called Botched where the guy had like more plastic surgery than anybody else. He was like, they call him like a Ken doll. I don't know if you guys saw
Oh, I
him.
heard about that.
seen
Never
it.
seen
Anyway,
it.
I
he
think
was
I've heard of that one.
like literally looked like a doll. He had so much plastic surgery, he didn't even look like a person. It was so
Okay,
crazy.
let's just keep talking about it. Did anybody watch Clarice last night?
Oh, no. Was it any? It's a pilot, so I usually just see if it survives the first season before I'll watch a new show.
No, the ratings and the everybody else, as far as the critics, said it's a really good show. So we don't need to talk about it. Anything in real estate. What did you guys watch? Or what are you planning?
No, listen, that's not fair because Katrina doesn't watch TV, but we do have a bunch
Yeah,
of
but you
market
did see
stats.
commercials for. Did you watch The Equalizer too? I saw a lot of commercials for that during
I
the Super
didn't
Bowl.
see any of that.
We didn't get a chance to. Because right after the Super Bowl, they showed us Celebration in town as opposed to the Queen Latifah show. They spent billions promoting during the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Hey,
So
if we're going to talk about selling something, let's talk about selling Katrina's car.
Yeah, I'll offer
With
you
the Tesla?
no, I'm not selling Tesla.
I mean, she comes in here like Like, I'm like, who's this fancy person driving a Tesla? I'm like, oh my God, it's Katrina.
$20K cash right now.
No, I'll keep it for that, Adam. I paid cash for the car. I'm not selling it in a loss. No, like 30 is my bottom number. I'll just keep it myself and drive it as a second car.
Wait, the Tesla? You're selling the Tesla?
You haven't told anybody.
It's a TLX. It's a 2018 Acura TLX. All right, so the
blue
story
one?
real quick, and then we are going back to the numbers.
Okay.
The blue
Blue one?
Acura, yeah, have it still.
Yeah, you're selling that for $30,000?
Yeah. I paid $34,000 for it. It was a lease turn-in. That car, brand new, is $47,000. You can look it up on Acura. And it's a top-of-the-line A-spec package. It's a great car. I love it. It just wasn't a fit for me.
Why don't you buy it, Leo? We'll slap Beryl Engineering on the side
It's
of
the wrong
it.
color.
Wrong color.
You don't like blue?
It needs to be gray.
It's so pretty. Like, you would be turning some heads in that car.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I put a green magnet on the side of it, it's going to look wrong.
Yeah, it might not blend
Yeah,
so well.
it's the wrong
Yeah.
color.
So, anyway, I like the car, but here's the thing. I'm so frugal. I did not
How
want to
frugal
go.
are you?
I didn't want to go to the Tesla dealer intentionally because I knew I'd want to buy a Tesla, right? Always wanted to buy one. So, like, avoided the Tesla dealer and then ended up going anyway and buying a Tesla. So, I probably shouldn't have, but all right.
Did you cash in your Dogecoin to buy Tesla?
No, I don't have any. That's all you.
I had 5 coins, so they went from less than a tenth of a penny to 8 cents, which means I've made 35 cents.
Look at the percentages. They're way more
The
sexy,
percentages
I'm
are
sure.
yeah, the percentages are sexy, but when you only have 5 of something and when it goes to 2,500%, you still only have 5 of something.
Speaking of percentages, let's talk about the Tampa metro area
Let's
because
do it.
our home values here are outpacing all other Florida markets.
Even GameStop stock?
Yeah, we're not talking about GameStop stock. Stop it.
How about
Stop it.
AMC stock?
No, neither one of those. So Tampa metro area. Okay, guess. I'm not going to show you the paper. Let you guys look. How much do you think Tampa home prices are up in 2020? Take a guess. And we're seeing significant differences even over the end of last year.
More than
which will
Bitcoin?
show up in these numbers.
I would think
Rough guess. And Kim Smith is in the house too.
9%.
So we may have her guess too.
Year over
9%?
year?
I say
Okay.
11%.
What's your guess, Leo?
I'm going to say 14.5%.
Kim, you got one?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say 15.
15%. What mic are you on? I'm going to turn you up there. Okay.
Number one.
So 15%. All right. Listen to this. Our average in the Tampa area is about 5 to 7%, and our home values grew 14.1% in the urban areas and 11.3% in the suburbs.
Wow.
Wow.
Yay, I'm going to go to the I'm going to go to that wheel round next on The Price is Right.
So the typical urban home is worth $258,477, while the home in the suburbs $252,809. But this is the point about the trending data, right? This is our stuff, and a couple more things real quick, and we're going to go to the Florida Realtors Report, which actually came out yesterday, so this is super duper timely. But the rent rates grew by 6%. In the Miami metro area, home values only grew 6.7%. Well, the suburbs were 7.3, which is crazy. Miami is always a hot market. Even Orlando's home value grew surprisingly last year, despite all the COVID Disney shutdowns. So 8.3% in the urban areas, suburbs 7.7%. And then Jacksonville was the second largest growth in Florida, right behind Tampa.
Wow.
So they were at 10.5% and 8.1% on the suburb areas.
This is
So let's talk about the
insane.
Florida Realtors Report.
This is insane data.
And I will tell you, we can feel it. Like people like me that have our pulse on the real estate market, we have a lot of active listings, a lot of active buyers. We see based on what's going on in the market, the way things are going.
Median
So we
time
see
to
it.
contract.
We see it before things hit.
10
So,
days.
Yeah, so this is the numbers that launched yesterday, okay?
For the
This
fourth
is-
quarter.
This is February 12th. These launched February 11th for fourth quarter. And I will tell you, it's not a depiction of the current market we're in. So
You think it's even better?
it's tighter, even tighter.
Even tighter, better.
Better for
Better
who?
for you.
Better
I've never
for sellers.
seen numbers like this. Month supply of inventory 1.1.
Remember I was saying that? We were about a 1 month supply of homes?
We had to have been. I mean, we've been tracking that data for a year
but
now.
I knew that already, just being in
This
it.
is insane.
So our growth rate literally is our closed sales are up over 12%, so 12.1%, and the number of months supply of inventory was down over 52%. So that means we have half as many houses to sell as we did the quarter before, and we have 12% more sales. hint the squeezing in the numbers here.
This is just all squozen. And I mean, you can even see the average price. It's gone up $50,000.
$50,000.
$50,000.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, I mean,
that's 14
so
and
we look at
0.1%.
So these are like fourth quarter numbers trending over last year in 2019. But yeah, I mean, the median price too, I think that's different as well. I know it's different now because there was like, for example, a little builder, we could sell new. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy fancy, but it was still new construction. For the low 200s, like literally 200 to 225 in this neighborhood in Zephyr Hills, like on the border of Wesley Chapel. And I thought that is the bargain of the area right now. And literally when I checked with them yesterday for a client, they have one home available. It just came back on because the guy actually couldn't get a loan. He owed the government crazy money and was trying to get a government loan. Go figure. That won't work, folks, by the way.
He needs to go see Darren Mish.
Yeah, well, so yeah, it's just not going to. If you owe the government money, you're not getting a government loan. Just saying. That's how it works.
Go see Darren if you owe the government money.
So this one came back on, and their prices still are over $250,000. So this is saying like our median price in 2014 was at $250,000, and now
2014.
I'm sorry, 2019. Thank you. Fourth quarter of 2019, Leo. Yeah, let's get in the right year here, Katrina.
It's been a long day for
Numbers are my thing.
I need some water.
They're my jam. Spread it on the toast.
Yeah. So the median price is almost 287 already, but really, I think that number's at or over 300.
Awesome.
Like this is delayed data. Remember we talked about that.
Delayed data. I mean,
delayed data. And we'll talk about a few more things because I know, what were you asking about a minute ago?
I was asking about 813-377-2775. I was particularly asking about 813-377-2775.
All right, that's our off number. So if you want to know what your house is worth or how fast we can sell it, we'll let you know.
Fast.
You can call or text.
The key is fast.
We could sell it so fast. We've actually already sold it and have the buyer with the contract in hand for your house.
Okay, we're out of time.
Welcome home. This is Tampa Home Talk.
Oh,
I'm Adam Talley with Talley Insurance. We got Katrina.
Good job,
We got Leo.
Adam, good job.
Hey,
good job.
and we
Leo.
have
I'm looking at Adam saying Leo.
We have Kim here. It's not Bridges anymore, right? It's Smith.
She's always
look at me.
still on my phone.
Look at me. I still got it.
If I change her name in my phone, I won't be able to find her.
We're talking numbers. I'm assuming eventually we're going to talk about home decor for listings, but sounds like they're flying off the shelves probably before you can even get your stuff in there.
Oh, no, I get them there, and then she calls me the next week and says, oh, go pick it up.
Come get it. We're good.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Like, literally, that's exactly
So you're
what I'm
basically
saying.
just bringing furniture over for a photo shoot.
Yeah, basically.
It sort of feels that way, doesn't it?
It does feel like that.
You're just a moving company. You
it's
just move the
still-
same stuff.
Oh,
So
no,
it's still helping though. Like, all right, Kim, let's talk about some of your other realtors. Are you like? Is it the same? Turn? Like, are you getting the same turnover rate with other agents, or like, what's your experience like with that in terms of quick furniture pickup?
No. I mean, you're just a whole different category of realtor.
That's fair. We'll take that.
Your volume. I mean, but your quality volume.
Yeah.
We get in there, and you've got everything going.
Ready
It's
for you.
just-
You don't have to do the whole house.
Well, it's just not the same. I mean, you know, the other realtors, they're really good about, you know, getting me in there, but it's such a process. So,
What do you mean? Like delayed with the owner trying to get in? Or
yes.
what?
Yeah, delayed with the owner. I mean, trying to get in, and then once I get in, it's still, you know, oh, well, next week we'll do an open house. And everything's very
I
slow.
think it's the confidence. Like when I come in, I'm like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. This is what's next.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes it's too much, but sometimes people are like, yeah, this is great.
well,
Just
no,
tell us what to do next.
Your sellers are prepped. They're ready. They know what to expect when I get there for the walkthrough. So
Kim doesn't see the whole thing all the way through.
No.
But let's play a little game.
Oh,
so the house on 131st, you remember that
Oh,
one, right?
yeah,
The
yeah.
cute little
Yeah,
house you
yeah.
staged. It was just so
I just
cute.
picked it up, yeah.
Almost a half acre, yeah.
Yeah.
So guess how many offers we had on that house?
I don't know what the final count was. I thought you told me.
Oh, we did tell you?
Yeah,
How many?
it's like 41.
We had 41 offers on that
Oh my God.
house.
Yeah, you was like,
Testing
this is
the memory bank
exhausting.
today,
Yeah.
huh?
I was like,
I tell you what, though, we are seeing crazy stuff, like ridiculously high escrow deposits because people want the house.
it was a cutie house, and it was a
good.
great area. That area is like moving.
I grew up
Holy
in that
cow.
area.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I just
Are you
noticed
talking
how
about
nice it was.
Carrollwood?
No,
Yeah,
well,
like Forest Hills, Old Carrollwood.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's just a nice little area, and the
Kind of made me wish I'd kept my old house, which was like my grandparents' house they built new in the 50s.
It's just so cutie.
Whatever happened to the days where you just moved in, you adopted your grandparents, your parents' house, and you moved into that, and that's where you did.
I tell you what, those multi-gen
It
homes.
might be like that if people can't find houses.
Some of the things that are really hot right now are the multi-gen homes with like the mother-in-law quarters, and then which appraisers kind of hate because they got to find comps for them, and it's a whole thing on if they're set up properly for zoning. And anyway, and then land is on fire right now too. Like if you have land and you have been thinking about selling it, or it's just sitting there not doing anything, and you want to make some money on it and maybe pay off some debt, or buy a house or buy a car or whatever, like land is selling right now. You
That's
can
the
call
other
or
thing.
text
In
us.
all areas, or is it area
Most
specific?
areas. I mean, I know Tampa. That's where I sell real estate.
And they
But I
kinda-
know in this area.
Well, I meant like, you got like Zephyr Hills and that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's probably
Yeah,
not. It's
especially,
still, wow.
You
Awesome.
have these multi-gen homes on large tracts of land, and then they sell it, and then it becomes a subdivision. Makes me sad.
And the other thing that's been on
Until
fire
you
for a
inspect 10 of
while
them.
Yeah, yeah.
that you can't even find is the multi-unit properties. So duplex, triplex, quads, you can't even find those.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the smart people have already gobbled them up and they're holding them.
Yeah, they're definitely sitting on them and holding them. And I love those. It's like my favorite kind of real estate, but they're just so expensive right now.
Wow.
All right, so let's talk about how Tampa Bay ranks compared to the whole U.S. Can we chat about that for a minute?
Sure.
So, Kim, what do you think we
It's your
rank?
show, so we got to do whatever you want. So.
Come on.
we have to be in the top 5.
We are.
Oh,
We're actually
yay.
we're number 4.
We're on fire today. You're 2 for 2 so
Return
far.
to the Price is Right rule.
We're number 4.
We're almost to the showcase showdown at the end. You'll win a trip, but it's only to your office. So.
To Hernando,
There you
to
go.
Hernando County.
We're number 4 in the U.S. for inflow of residents for last year, and again, I've seen such a change in the last 3 months, right? So you're going to get, when you look at last year and like last quarter, you're getting the beginning of like this whole thing that we're seeing right now. So, but we were number 4. We beat out Charlotte and Austin. Those are 2
Wow.
really hotbed
Yeah.
markets right
Charlotte
now.
Well, I know
County?
you have a lot of buyers that are from out of state because we end up doing
A
the
ton.
insurance for them, and they're like,
Where are you from?
Massachusetts,
New York.
Massachusetts, Maryland, New Hampshire,
Yeah.
like the whole bunch of them. Now they come down here, they get a little sticker shock on their insurance, but other than that, they're
Well,
the
their
weather.
tax bill's lower, so you can remind
That's
them
what I
of that.
tell them. That's why I was, hey, no state income tax. So
And
like,
their
yeah,
tax
but
bill is
everything
usually their
is
physical property tax bill on the house.
yeah.
Is probably lower than what they're paying where
Probably.
they're at. So you got to ask them about that and
Yeah,
remind them what the tax
but they
bill.
always say that our groceries are really expensive. I've never lived anywhere else, so I don't know.
Me neither. So I'm with you.
I believe
Like, oh,
our
I'll trust you.
I believe our groceries are expensive. I just was talking about this the other day. My 99-cent bag of potato chips is $1.49.
You know?
It says 99-cent big grab on it, and there's a sticker that says $1.49.
Well,
Wow.
I got to think they're
notice that.
selling it at 99 cents somewhere.
I wouldn't even notice that, but of course Leo
it's
did.
just the MSRP, you know.
So, couple things. And I think Mr. Fasano is going to join us sometime this month. But it's February 12th, and I want to give you guys a reminder. Even if you didn't buy your home with us, don't forget to file your homestead exemption. You have until March 1st, so you got to get it done this month.
So he's
to
on
get
next
your
week.
homestead exemption. It's soon. I don't know. We got 2 weeks, don't we? 2 more Fridays left.
Yeah, but
and-
usually he's the Friday before the Friday.
How long does it take after you file for them to approve it or whatever? Does it have to be
you
approved
have to,
by
no,
the
no,
first?
you just have to get the
send
deadline
it
in there. So keep a copy of your stuff. Make sure you have proof, because I have seen where people have filed and it didn't go through or whatever. So definitely make sure that you do it. A good way to check, actually, and I did this for a customer, it's how I know, a good way to check if you filed for homestead exemption is to go back and try to file again, and it will say, we've already received a request for this property.
Oh, I
So
like
that's
that.
new.
I like
That's
that.
new. I don't think that was there before. All right, you want your zip code list, Leo?
Yeah, sure.
Can you speed read numbers as fast as you can speed read words?
I can.
That's almost preferable.
You
for
missed it. Were you listening to the week he was listening to reading the book, speed reading it? He did pretty good.
I caught a few clips. That was a call-in week for me.
He did really amazing, I think.
I'm really proud of you, young man.
Well, thank you.
And he spent more time. He spent more time speed reading my book than any other book I've seen him speed read.
But I caught the clip of he's like, well, especially if it's ghost written, you read the blurb, you read the title, everything in between
Well, you
is kind
sped read my book, and did you actually read
and
the
you
whole
read
thing?
the story.
No, it's sitting
You
on
read
my
one
bookshelf.
story, so it sounds like you. I paid attention to
So
it.
you know it's not ghost written, right? Because you
I
actually
can
read
tell
it.
it's not ghostwritten.
Yeah.
You have to read the anecdotes.
I love it. I get this whole list of data and it goes straight from my zip code.
How's your zip code
How's
doing?
your zip code shaking?
Your VM Ebor.
It's got a 22% increase in property values.
I'm sure. Should I tell you? I remember when you could pick up bungalows for like 25 grand.
Well, you can, yeah. They're
off 7th or 8th
investor
Street.
specials.
Yeah. Doesn't mean they don't have value, right? That can be redone. It's just might be a lot of work on a wood frame
But you have to be
home.
careful when you're buying in a historic district. If you're buying one of those old bungalows and you think you're going to tear it down and put something else in its place, they're not going to let you do that. You're going to have to restore it.
Talk about that, because that's probably a really important point that a lot of people don't realize.
So in South Tampa, south of Gandy, the trend is to buy a small bungalow and turn it into a McMansion. If you're buying in a historic Kenwood, if you're buying in a historic Ybor, if you're buying in a historic Seminole Heights, they will not let you tear down conforming structures. Conforming structures are structures that conform to the way the neighborhood was supposed to and does look.
So even if you build something that looks just like it,
They won't let
say
you do
no?
it. They want the existing structure rebuilt. It goes as far as to if it has a metal roof, you have to prove an obscene level of economic hardship to put anything other than a metal roof back on.
Like what?
Obscene.
Obscene
I like
level.
that.
I cannot afford it. My roof is leaking in on itself.
Even that, they'll pressure you to sell it before they'll let you put a shingle roof on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So make sure when you're buying these old historic investor specials, you realize you have to restore and not rebuild.
Now, is it anything? I guess my question is, does the current house have to be already in that style, or just anything in that area you can't redo?
Well, there's conforming structures and non-conforming structures.
Right.
So for instance,
so like if you're in Seminole Heights and they're all bungalows, but
Then
you have
you have to
one
be-
that was probably built in the 50s that just kind of looks like a dump, are you able to tear that down, or does
It's historic. I mean, you have to the extreme this has been. There are 7-Elevens in Key West that are now considered historic buildings
wow?
because they've been there for X number of years.
What is that X?
X in Key West was 50.
What's X around here?
It depends on the historic area. There's something called the Sanborn map they use for Ybor City.
Okay.
And pretty much you can go back in time and see what that property has been over time, and that determines what you can do with it in the future.
Wow, that's crazy.
We talk about stuff on this show, and like Leo gives me ideas for whole new shows. I'm like, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some
Well,
research on that.
the takeaway there, if you buy in a historic area and you're buying an investor special, it's probably for sale as an investor special because they're not going to let you tear it down, and it's going to cost you, if it costs you $250 to buy a new home, it might cost you $300,000 to renovate an old home.
That's 1,200 square feet,
yeah.
maybe. Wow, that's wild.
It is, but that's why in south of Tampa south of Gandy, you got all those McMansions going up because you don't have those restrictions.
Now, what about if it has asbestos siding? Like, obviously, that's
You can
a
remove-
hazard, right? So you
It
can
is.
remove that.
It's removed and it's replaced with something that looks similar.
That's expensive too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was looking through the zip code data real quick, and we have to just chat about one of these little areas real quick.
Okay.
Which one?
Bradyville?
Which one do you think
What's
experienced the most growth?
What's 33610? That's Seminole Heights. I feel
No,
like
no,
that-
33610 is MLK east of
It's
30th.
south. It's
Pretty
South
flat.
Seminole Heights. It's like Hampton Terrace.
3.3% year-over-year change.
That's further east. The South Seminole Heights is 33603.
That's on the other side of interstate.
Yeah, 33610 is East MLK.
Yes, this side of interstate.
Yeah.
But that extends all the way to Sly.
So,
It does?
you know, I knew Lakeland was doing really well. They've been like on
Polk County.
fire.
Polk.
Yeah, they've been
Polk.
really hot. They are up, way up, like 4.3%, 43.3%
Ooh,
increase.
that's high.
Well, I knew Lakeland and Plant City. Those were going to be up and coming markets that you wanted to get in on like 5 years ago.
Well, why is that? Just because it's
It's where growth and development was. You can get to Orlando. You can get to Tampa. It's convenient.
So guess which one is like off the chain?
Off the chain. Which one's zip code? Which one's Bradian?
33. No, that's not it. 33540 was insane. Zephyr Hills, 177.8%.
Oh my goodness.
wow.
That's Wesley Chapel.
No, it's some on the border of. Some
Yeah.
of it is Zephyr Hills, some of it's Wesley Chapel. It's not all Zephyr. It's not. So the Zephyr Hills part that's in here is Hillsborough County. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh.
We have stats for Pasco as well. Which
And
are
if you're
Indiana.
curious about your zip code, text 813-377-2775. Text
Send
your
you the
zip
report.
code to 813-377-2775, and we will share with you your custom market data for your zip code.
Yes, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Kim, because we got 10 degrees warmer. So let's talk about spring cleaning. We'll be back in a minute.
Well, hello, welcome back, Leo
Welcome
King.
home.
Oh, welcome home.
Welcome
Welcome
home.
home.
Jesus, I'm the
You
only
messed
one
it
that
up.
can
Welcome home.
deliver today.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
To Tampa Home Talk.
We're
Welcome,
here.
welcome.
We're talking stats.
Talking stats.
Kim's going to get to talk about
We want Kim to talk
staging.
about the stats
Listen,
of staging.
Are people like me are like done with the numbers, like bored with it? I'm not a number person, but I'm excited
I
about
think we
these
keep
numbers.
bringing this bright and levity to the situation, and if you want to know more about your zip code in particular, 813-377-2775.
So Kim, let's-
813-377-27. You have to say it twice.
Yes.
75.
you might say it 3 times because you just messed it up.
I know. I did my twice.
Call or text 813-377-2775.
Yeah, not while you're driving, though. That's
Not
the
while you're
insurance tip.
There you go. So, Kim, one of the biggest things when we come in, not only staging, but it's like literally starting with a clean, right? Like a deep
Yes.
clean.
Yes.
So
Do you do that too?
Let's talk
No.
about this. She doesn't do the cleaning part, but it's got to
No.
be clean before she can even come in.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the, keeping it clean while it's staged, right? Because
Right.
of course, if your stuff's in there, you definitely want to clean, especially.
Right.
But what are some of the most important areas to make sure they stay clean?
I would say everywhere, because buyers want to look everywhere. But if the homeowners can keep the floors and surface areas, picked up and clean, that's the biggest area. So that'll make the most impact.
I would add to that kitchen and bathrooms.
Well, yeah, that's
Super duper important.
That's on the list, but it's if you've got clothes on the floor. I mean, even if everything is clean, if you've got stuff laying on the floor, it's going to look messy.
So it's not super duper hard in this market because we're like selling stuff in a couple days.
Right.
But how do you give somebody a tip on how to stay like organized and actually keep the home staged when they're actually living in it? Because that's not an easy task.
It's not easy. And so what they should really focus on is creating a system that helps them. I mean, if it's going to be on the market for, a month or 2 months or 3 months, which, that's still not a long period of time because it does take some time to get all the paperwork done. There are 6 things that they should really focus on. Don't drop things when you come in the door. Put everything in its place.
Okay, that's a big one because
Yeah.
I'm always walking with my hands full.
Yep.
And like,
And that's good advice just for life in general.
Right.
so I got a question. Like, I'm always
Okay.
carrying my purse and my work bag. Where should its place be? Because I know
Well,
where
on
I
a
put
hook
it.
and a hanger.
A landing zone
No, I don't
inside your
want that.
door.
A mud room.
You need a landing zone inside your door. If it's a bin where you can open it up and put something in it, that's a great way to just keep the clutter out of sight.
A foot
So,
locker.
it doesn't. They can be decorative benches. Benches have those the lids that open, so it could be right inside the door instead of a hook, because that can look cluttery too. If you don't, usually I stage those, so you have to find someplace to put your stuff. But yeah, bench with hidden storage, or if you just even have a bin by the door or in the coat closet. If you have a coat closet, you can stick that bin in the coat closet and keep your stuff in there.
So I know we always talk about staging to sell, right? Which is different. But do you ever go in and stage people for life? Like where it's like it's a nice organized approach. No, I'm not kidding. Really, this is the thing. Like stage people for real life. Like
Yes,
I just said. Like
Right.
so I said, where do I put my purse and my work bag that I always carry? Well, I put it right on the dining room chair when I walk in.
Right.
Because I don't have a
She's
landing
gonna
zone.
follow.
you don't
she's
have a
gonna
landing
follow
zone,
you
yeah.
when you come home one day and just be like, "All right, this is what we need to do." But you have kids, so it's hard. Once you have kids, right? It's hard to keep,
and I'm almost
keep
an
it
empty
where it's supposed
nester.
to be.
Like I got one we're throwing out in about a month, and then another one that's probably will be with us
And
for
we're
a little
waving
bit.
to her. We're waving goodbye to her right now.
It's not her, it's the other one. So, but do you ever stage properties for people for real life, like on how to be more organized on where stuff should go? Because that's a great
I can do
tip.
that. I don't think I've done that to this point. I do try to point, homeowners in that direction when they're, because, once things are staged and they're like, oh, I never thought of putting that, here or there.
We've been keeping her so busy with staging property, she doesn't have time to stage stuff for life.
You have to create a system that works for you, and so everybody's different. When you first get up, make your bed, put everything back. When you get it out, put it back. I mean, these are all things that we know to do, but we don't do them in general life, that still stand true.
Clean like your mother-in-law is coming over, right?
Or guest, yeah.
Or guest, yeah. The clean is really, it's an important part of it, and I know we've got some guests, rolling into the 9 o'clock hour. They're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But are you working from checklists, Kim? Because you help really make the process easy for me. Because we've talked about this, right? My ASP Realtor stager, I could stage it. I don't have time to stage it. I don't want to stage it. But it does help when you and I work together because we're really on the same team. Because I feel like I get them prepared for when you come in, but then I don't have to really look at it or come back to it. I just know it's done. We just send the photographer and I know it's done.
Yes. Well, and that's it. I mean, I either, when I leave, it's either ready for photographers or the homeowner might have a few bits and pieces of homework to do before the photographer can come. And I'm very specific about these things need to be done before the photographer can come.
Sometimes the photographer is literally on her coattails,
Yes.
ready for her to finish to take photos.
Yes.
And so how does that work when they still have stuff, like loose stuff? Are you helping them move stuff out of the way?
I do. I help them because,
I've done that.
they're working so hard to get it done. And it is if you've never been through that process before, it can be overwhelming. And especially if you throw children into the mix, that's even harder because you're trying to balance family and work and get this massive project done. Because it is a massive project. To pack and purge is incredible.
We try to get them prepared for that before you come in.
Yes.
Like the first thing I tell people is all these personal photos off the wall. Just start packing them.
Right.
All this extra stuff that tells anybody anything about you.
And then I give them a list. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people, like, if I were to go through your house and it's not a charge neutral photo, meaning by looking at the photography or whatever on your wall, I should not be able to tell where you went to college, what color you are, what your ethnic background is, if you're married, if you're not, if you're gay or you're straight. Like, we shouldn't be able to tell any of that stuff by any of the photos on the wall.
Right.
Because humans are curious by nature. So if that stuff is on there, they're going to be looking at you to try to figure out why you're moving, who lives in the house.
Right.
Like, that's where their mind goes unconsciously.
Instead of putting their furniture, I can make this my living room and this is going to be my master and this is going to be my office, and instead of them thinking about themselves in that place, they are thinking about you, and you don't want that.
Again, they're curious by nature. So if they
Yes.
see even like your college degree, your diploma on the wall, they're gonna just, they're our rival school, or I wonder what they mastered in, they base, or what they majored in. That's just, the human mind just thinks that way.
Right.
And so Kim's job is to take it off of all of that, put the focus on the house.
God, are
Correct.
we done already? That was a quick first
It's a really
hour.
fast
You talking about numbers, joking about Netflix, yeah.
So we can wrap up on these numbers or save them for next hour. What do you guys want to do? Because we were talking about the percentage, remember, and like how many
Wrap.
are in each.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next
Yeah.
hour. Next hour? Yeah, it's a little bit. All right.
I'm surprised you want to wrap up anything that deals with numbers, Leo.
I just figured our listeners need a balance.
It's a bit to cover. It's not a ton, but it's a bit. All right, listen. Our off-air number is 813-377-2775, 813-377-2775. If you need your home staged for life or for sale, we can help with that. Just call or text 813-377-2775. And love where you live, or we'll fix it, and we'll be back for hour number 2. Stick around.